All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Marathon Digital Holdings, stock ticker MARA. They are, of course, a Bitcoin miner. They put out their January operational update, so I had a lot of questions coming into this. Let's see what type of answers we get. If you're new to the channel, we cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. Lastly, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can hit the join button on the YouTube page. So that should be right next to the subscribe button. If you don't see the join button, there should be a link in the description below. And we do a members only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. I also do a deep dive on a stock each week that is selected by the members. In addition to that, we just got our members only Discord up and running. So you're also welcome to join our public Discord, but if you become a member, you get access to the private Discord. We'd love to have you over there, and we appreciate the support. Let's talk about Marathon Digital Holdings. So, okay, if we take an overview look here, they're trading at about $7.57 right now. They're down about 5% on the day. I don't think that has anything to do with the operational report that they put out. They did put this out after hours yesterday, but it's a little bit of a red day today, and I think this more just has to do with market movement because actually I do think they answered a lot of the questions that I was looking for. December was a very tough month for Marathon. So let's dig in and take a look and see how January went. Okay, here we go. Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operations update January 2023. This was yesterday at 6:30 p.m. Okay, right off the bat, you can see the first line produced a record 687 Bitcoin in January 2023. That's a 45% increase over the prior month. So last month, if you watched, I was definitely a little disappointed with their performance, but you can see this month is a gigantic improvement. In fact, 687 is their personal record for the most Bitcoin they've ever mined in a month. So this is a big step in the right direction, in my opinion. We're going to dig into some of the details, and the underlying details I think are good. I really feel like maybe this is starting to move in the right direction. I've said this once before about 6 months ago, and I feel like I was a little early on that. But if Marathon can put 2 or 3 months like this in a row together, then I'm really going to feel like they may actually get where they said they were going. So we'll keep our eye on that going forward. But for now, let's see what happened in January. Okay, increased unrestricted cash to $133.8 million and increased unrestricted Bitcoin holdings to 8,090 Bitcoin. So they have a few thousand Bitcoin that are used as collateral, but as the price of Bitcoin goes up, they get to use less and less of their Bitcoin because it has a higher value. So this uncollateralizes itself if Bitcoin can keep running to the upside. In the meantime, they've dramatically improved this situation. There was once a point where the majority of their stack was collateralized. They were having to add to the collateral, and they've reversed that trend significantly. And now the majority of their stack is not collateralized. So I feel like financially they're in a much better situation. They have $133 million in the bank. They have what amounts to over $200 million in Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So this is a very strong balance sheet company. Okay, management's commentary. Quote, we started the year by producing a record 687 Bitcoin in January 2023, which is a 45% increase from the 475 Bitcoin we produced in December of 2022, said Fred Thiel, Marathon's chairman and CEO. The improvements in our Bitcoin production was primarily a result of addressing the maintenance and technical issues at the King Mountain data center that had suppressed our Bitcoin production in the fourth quarter of 2022. So you can see their partners were not ready on the timeline that they expected them to be ready, and so everything happened a lot slower than they expected. My biggest concern with that was they continued to stick to the same talking points and the same time frames when it was clear that it was outside of their control, and I feel like it's better to under-promise and over-deliver than to over-promise and miss your target every single month all year. So as we go through this report, I think they've done a little bit better job of this, of explaining exactly where they're at. However, they still are promising to be at 23 exahash by the middle of 2023, and I'm just going to tell you I find that highly unlikely. Whether or not they get to 23 exahash in July or in December or even, next March, I don't think that's the big deal. I think if we see progress on a month-to-month basis like we did this month and we see them getting closer to that goal becomes more and more realistic instead of just being some number that's out there somewhere over the rainbow, which is what it felt like in 2022. Okay, this next paragraph is a big one because all month last month there was a lot of speculation that they were selling Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin were they selling? Two of my questions this month surrounding Marathon had to do with their HODL position and their HODL strategy. So I wanted to hear from them exactly how many Bitcoin they sold. In addition to that, I wanted to hear what their philosophy was going to be going forward. Was this a one-off event? Is this a change in philosophy? So they did answer both of those questions, so I actually feel good about that. We got some answers in this update. So here we go. With Bitcoin production increased and becoming more consistent, we made the strategic decision to sell some of our Bitcoin, as previously planned, to cover some of our operating expenses and for the general corporate purposes. We intend to continue to sell a portion of our Bitcoin holdings in 2023 to fund monthly operational costs. So there you go. This is some guidance as to what we can expect in the year 2023, and it is a change from the 2 previous years. So it looks like they're going to pick up more of a hybrid approach. Now, in this first month in January, they sold a lot more Bitcoin than they mined. But given the fact that they've never sold any Bitcoin, I think that's a one-off. It looks to me like what they're trying to say is they're going to have a hybrid approach where they sell Bitcoin to pay for operations and then try to increase their hodl position as they go along, just not this 100% hodl at all costs anymore. Okay, here's some of it by the numbers. Bitcoin produced 687. So you can see last month was 462. That's a massive increase month over month. It's also January of 2023 is now the best month they have ever had. So they have an opportunity to continue to set new records all year this year. So I would expect that most of the months this year, they do continue to set a new all-time record because they are looking to ramp up their exahash multiples of what it is right now. Average Bitcoin produced per day, 22.1, so that's good. So operational energized hash rate, 7.3. So they mined 687 Bitcoin on 7.3 exahash. If you do the math, we have an efficiency number that we do, and that is basically Bitcoin mined per exahash. So that comes out to 94. They're not quite yet leading the pack. There's a couple in the 105 to 110 range, but 94 is a gigantic improvement, and this is starting to look more like business as usual. So I do think that represents a gigantic step in the right direction. You can see the top companies were somewhere between 104 and 110. A lot of companies struggled in December, so Marathon was not alone. They were down here at a 68 efficiency, which is not good. That's not sustainable. They need to be more up in this 100 area range. But like I said, this moves them to 94, so that is a very big leap in efficiency and a very big step in the right direction. So if we just take a look, this is a chart that I've made of Marathon's Bitcoin mined by month. So you can see 2022 was a frustrating year. They came into the year last January, a year ago, doing 462 Bitcoin. By the middle of the year in July, they were down to just 72 Bitcoin. They had basically almost ceased operations. They were making some major changes. They closed their existing facility where they were operating. The new one wasn't quite ready in the time frame they expected, so they had a lot of months in the middle of the year that were tough. It looks like they started to right the ship in October. They had a very good month at 615. And then 2, what I considered a little bit disappointing months, but now here we are again, back on track at 687. So what I am hoping to see is that they just go up from here. So they're starting the year off on the right foot. So I'm going to stay optimistic and we'll watch this and see, but I do think they should be continuing to increase. You know, they should be at some point by the middle of the year, they should be over 1,000 Bitcoin per month. Okay, the next line is important also, installed hash rate. So their installed hash rate is 11.0. So that's 3.7 exahash of growth that's going to happen really as soon as they get clearance. And here they make a statement, according to the latest information made publicly available, energization of Applied Digital's facilities in Garden City, Texas and Ellendale, North Dakota are expected to commence during the first quarter of 2023. In Garden City, approximately 26,700 of Marathon's X19 XPs, so those are the latest and greatest, that equals 3.7 exahash, have already been installed. So you can see those are installed, they're just waiting to be energized. Okay, so now if we go down here to some financial highlights, you'll see unrestricted cash, 133 million. They had let us know that. Total Bitcoin holdings, 11,418. So this is the largest Bitcoin holdings of any Bitcoin miner in the industry. And you'll see they've now gotten to the point where 8,090 of those are unrestricted. So I felt like that answered a lot of my questions. The one question that is not really answered is, there's a section here, additional operational update. On January 27th, 2023, Marathon Digital Holdings and FS Innovation entered into a shareholder agreement regarding the formation of an Abu Dhabi global markets company whose purpose will be to jointly establish and operate one or more mining facilities. Okay, so they're starting a Bitcoin mining company with approximately private company in Abu Dhabi. They're a minority shareholder. They own 20% of this company. They had already filed this with the SEC, so I've already done a deep dive video on this if you want to check it out on the channel. I'm not going to spend any time on this right now, but really, this is just a reiteration of the SEC filing. There is absolutely no new information on this whatsoever. So that's really the only question that I have that I think still remains unanswered to me. I'm not sure what their goal is with this. But other than that, I did get a lot of the answers that I was looking for. And I think as investors and potential investors, I think most people are going to feel the same way. Okay, so just to take a quick look at their chart. So this is zoomed way out on the 1 week time frame, just to put things in perspective. When Bitcoin hit its peak, Marathon was over $83 a share. It had a gigantic run up. So they're still down about 91% from their highs from November of 2021, which is now about 15 months ago. However, if we zoom in, we'll see that they are moving in the right direction. But even with the big run that they've recently had, they're still down 91%. So there is still an awful lot of potential room to the upside here. They bottomed out somewhere around December 28th. And from there, they're now up 140%. At one point on January 24th, so that was less than 1 month later, they were actually up 212%. So they've pulled back a little bit since then. They're still up 140%. They had a peak in August. Bitcoin rallied to $25,000 in August of 2022. So Marathon had a nice rally back up to, almost $18 or $19. If Bitcoin can finish this rally and get back up to 25,000, Marathon is clearly a bigger, better company than they were in August of 2022. So I do think this is a reasonable price target. This represents 150+% to the upside for them. So obviously a lot of this is dependent on their monthly operational reports. If they continue to have good monthly operational reports, and additionally, if Bitcoin can continue this rally and make its way to 25,000, I think there's a lot of potential upside. Obviously, if Bitcoin turns back around and were to retest its lows, Marathon's about 60% off of its December lows. So, there is a risk-reward equation here. Again, as always, this is not financial advice, so please do your own due diligence and invest carefully. So that's what I got for you on Marathon. I think January was much better than December. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And you can smash the like button if you would. Also, if you're interested, you can support the channel by hitting the join button and becoming a member. It's $5 a month. So we appreciate your support, and we have a lot of fun with the membership. So hope to see you there. If not, we will definitely see you in the next video. Thanks again.